Yo, 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 yo. Welcome in, welcome in. Today is 11/2, November 2nd, 2022. This is the NBA ChrisBeCappinn show. We got a 11 card slate today. We got a lot of games to get into. I'm gonna do it a tad bit different. I talked about this before. I'm not going through every single game. um, I won't be able to have enough time to get through every single game. So I'll just be sharing my looks with you guys on the games that I got stuff on, and then open it up to you guys. And if people got plays they want to share, then that'll be a time where you guys can, chime in and share your plays and your analysis as well. So that's what we're doing today. Let's get into it real quick. Transparency reasons. We'll do a quick recap of yesterday. Yesterday, if you was in the space late, I gave out 3 plays. Went 3-0, first sweep of the season. Feels great. We cashed on, if you tell me, we cashed on the Brooklyn Nets first quarter, minus 0.5. We cashed on Anthony Edwards over 22.5 points in the late night game, and Vucevic rebounds over 11.5. So 3-0 day, plus 2.05 units if you guys are in the unit tracking. And that's that. So moving forward to today, like I said, we got 11 games on the card. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. I'm still trying to keep the show, no matter if we got 3 games or if we got 12 games. I'm still trying to keep the show to an hour and a half at the most. So 6:30 Eastern time will be the latest that we're on. So let's go ahead and get into it. So first game up, we got the Wizards in the Philadelphia 76. Hold on. So for the people, before I do that, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button for me. Subscribe to the video. Appreciate you being here, DJ. And champagne and orange juice, my guys. Now let's get into it. So Wizards and 76ers first game up. We get a line that opened at 8 in favor of Philly. Total opened at 219.5. It's down to 218. Man, I actually just looked at the total again. I think it goes over, but probably stay off of it and not play it. I'm pretty sure I could run some trends though to find some value on the over. I know the last game went over as well, I think, because these two teams did just play each other. But let me tell you guys what we got. So the line actually is all the way down to minus 5.5 now. So some money's come in on Washington to cover this spread. That's such a big number at 8. I wasn't in the business of backing Philly minus 8 points against anybody right now. They don't look that great, even though they have won 3 games in a row. But now they come back home, right? So the Wizards, they're coming in. They don't look good. They're 3-game losing streak straight up and ATS. This will be their 3rd game in 4 nights and 4th game in 6 nights. So I'm not, in a spot where I want to back Washington at all because of the bad travel spot. They host Brooklyn on Friday. On the opposite side, you get the 76ers coming into this game off three straight wins and ATS covers. This will be the first game back home for them after a 4-game road trip that they just finished. Embiid was listed as questionable. He's been ruled out as of, I think, about 45 minutes ago. And then as far as some notes, so Philly did beat Washington in Philly on Monday by 7, and the spread was 2.5. And that was without Embiid, of course. But before that, Washington had won both games outright with Embiid on the floor. And it's crazy to think, I talked about it early on the morning show, it's crazy to think that Philly actually looks better without Embiid. I don't know if you guys been following Philly, but they look better without Embiid. I'm not saying that, long term they are a better team, but what I am saying is that because he's dealing with the plantar fasciitis, and conditioning wise, he's just not there. Philly has looked better without him. They play at a much faster pace, and guys like Maxey and Harden really dominate the ball and don't have to worry, wait for him to come up the court to set the offense up. Washington, on the other hand, want to play slow. Their offenses look bad. They're ranked 25th in scoring, just 109 points a game. Philly's defense is picked up. They're ranked 6th, allowing just 108 points per game. Philly's also continued to be a poor rebounding team. They're ranked dead last in rebounding, but the Wizards are also ranked 21st. So I was going to look at Embiid rebound props under is what I had written down in my notes for earlier. I was also looking at Kuzma, but that line kind of got away from me. I don't want to play the juice, but I would look towards Kuzma. He didn't get his rebound prop last game, and I could see him actually getting it in this one. One thing I did just lock in, though, was Mr. Maxey. I talked about it last week, and I tweeted it out. And if it loses, I'm cool with it. Maxey points, over 22.5, minus 125 on DraftKings as of probably about 15 minutes ago. I think I put it in about 5 o'clock Eastern time. I just feel like it's an automatic play. You got to play Maxey points when Embiid doesn't play. He's shooting the ball 20 times a game, pretty much. And the offense runs through him and Harden. And you got. I don't know what else you can ask for. I don't know what more we need to see. So dating back to last year, right? I was looking at this too before I put it in. Dating back to last year, here's Maxey's game log without Embiid. So the other day, earlier this week, actually on Halloween when they played, Maxey had 28 points. Against Toronto last week, Maxey had career high 44 points. Against Detroit, Maxey had 25 points. That was April 10th. Against Miami, he scored 28 points. Against the Grizzlies, twice, he scored 33 points and 23 points. That dates all the way back to December 13th, 2021. So for me, I just feel like that's the play you got. Like you gotta play that. I mean, not that you guys have to, but when I see numbers like that, 6 for 6, where's the offense gonna come from if it doesn't come from Maxey and Harden? And we know Harden isn't doing a lot of scoring right now. I feel like you got to play Maxey. So for me, like I said, it's an auto play, 1 unit play for me. Maxey over 22.5 minus 125. I can't back Washington. I probably would lean towards Philly being able to cover their spread. Washington will get out of the slump that they're in sooner or later, but it's going to take Bradley Beal being able to kind of score the ball. He hasn't been able to score the ball recently, just not shooting the ball well. So I'm not in a rush to get behind, hypothetical of, I just foresee, him playing so well tonight. So official for me in this game, like I said, I'm on Maxey over 22.5 points. I locked that one in. Let me see. Go to the next game real quick. So next game up, we got the Celtics and the Cavs. This is going to be an interesting one, and it's probably a game I won't play. I just don't like. I want to take the Cavs, but I don't want to take them against the Celtics, just because the Celtics, they have their winning pedigree, and the Cavs do too. So spot for the team. So Celtics come into the game. They're 4-2 straight up, 3-3 ATS. For Boston, this will be their first road game since October 24th. They coming off 2 days rest, and their last loss was in Cleveland on was versus Cleveland. I'm sorry, on October 28th in overtime. That was last Friday. They lost that game 132-123. Cleveland comes into this game, on the other hand, 5-1 straight up and ATS. The only loss they had was the first game of the season against Toronto in Toronto. They didn't cover the spread. It was a short number. I think it was a 2.5. They lost the game by 3. So 5-1 ATS and straight up. They're 3-0 at home. And this will be the second straight home game before traveling to Detroit. And then they got a trip out LA where they play the Lakers and the Clippers. So Cleveland about to, get out the crib and go somewhere else. Get on the road. But important to note in this one, Garland did come back. He was listed as questionable. He practiced fully yesterday. And, reports just came out, I think, within the last few hours. And I'm trying to make sure I keep the notifications on for you guys. But he just came back. So Maxey is not Maxey, I'm sorry. Garland is back. I think that for me, that slows down the offense just a tad bit. I was actually looking, I put it in my notes that if Garland plays, I'd be looking towards taking the Celtics early due to the chemistry issues that it may potentially, because everybody has to shift, right? Like, Garland's not coming off the bench. So now LeVert has to go back to the bench role, and alpha male, Donovan Mitchell, I don't know why I was blanking on his name. Donovan Mitchell goes, from 1A and 1B to now just maybe 1A, and Garland is 1B. So I think that could throw off the chemistry just a tad bit. I also like Boston from the revenge angle, but Boston just scares me defensively. I'm not looking to bet. I don't know if you guys paying attention. I'm not looking to bet against Cleveland right now. They look good. So it's probably a game I'll stay off of. I feel like it's better spots on the board. But if I had a lean, I'd be taking Cleveland in this one. I just don't want to fade Tatum and Jaylen Brown just because I know what they're capable of. But without Robert Williams, man, I keep talking about it. The spread has also changed to – it's come down now. So it's 1.5 in favor of Boston. The total is still hovering around 220-ish, 220.5-ish. I see a 219 at Caesars too. So some money has come in on the under just a tad bit. And I might be looking to play that over, honestly. I think Boston still will probably be able to score. And I think Cleveland will definitely be able to score. Boston is also playing at an extremely fast pace right now. So nothing official for me in that game at all, but that's where I would be. That's where I'd be looking in that one. Moving along, Hornets and the Bulls. This is a game I am extremely interested in. Haven't put the play in yet, but I'll probably get there. Maybe a half unit play. Hornets coming in. So the Hornets they were 6-point dogs when it's open. The total was sitting at 228.5. You get a total now that's the spreads come all the way down to 4.5 in favor of Chicago. And the total has come all the way down from 228.5 all the way down to 222. And maybe that's because, and I didn't see this. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Maybe that's because Zach LaVine isn't playing. I know he was listed as questionable. Let's see what we got on him. We got I saw Zach LaVine listed as questionable for this game earlier. Yeah, he's still listed as questionable. So I don't know. Maybe yesterday I thought I read that Zach LaVine wasn't going to play in the second night of a back-to-back. We saw him go crazy last night in Brooklyn. I think he had a 20-point quarter in the fourth quarter. So yeah, Bulls are on the Hornets are coming in this game off a loss to the Kings in 2 straight home games. So this will be their first away game in just in quite a few. The Bulls, on the other hand, this is their second night of a back-to-back with travel. Their third game in 5 nights and their fourth game in 6 nights. So a spot where I'm not looking to back the Bulls. I talked about it earlier on the morning show. Cody White is also listed as doubtful. On the opposite side, you got Terry Rozier, who hasn't been ruled out yet, but he was listed as doubtful. And of course, LaMelo still isn't playing in this game. So I don't know. One of the trends that I ran, though, that makes me want to back, the dog in this spot, especially catching 6 points. Well, at least it was 6 points. I don't feel so confident with being at 4.5 if he was going to take Charlotte. Is that for one, I ran this stat earlier last week. Charlotte, over the last 2 years, when LaMelo doesn't play and Terry Rozier doesn't play together, they were 7-1 before they lost to the Kings the other day. So now they're 7-2 ATS. They cover spreads. Their offense is good. They have guys that can score the ball. PJ Washington, Kelly Oubre, Dennis Smith Jr., Gordon Hayward. Like, they have guys that can score the ball, and I'm not really afraid of Chicago's defense at all. Like, it doesn't scare me at all. I think they should be able to score, and it wouldn't surprise me if they won the game, honestly, if they won the game outright, especially if Zach LaVine doesn't play. But the trend that I ran was since the start of last season, previous teams that played away, and then they had to go home and play the next day with no rest, and that were favored by 6 points or more, they were just 19-25 ATS and only covered by average margin of 3 points. So all of the trend, well, not all of the trends, but that, humongous trend for me says that you should back Charlotte in this spot. But if you was going to get on Charlotte, you wanted to take them plus the 6, not plus the 4.5. You want to get the best of the number for sure. But I'll say that trend one more time. So since last season, the team that played away and then home with no rest in between on a back-to-back that was favored by 6 points or more, they finished just 19-25 ATS and only covered those games by average of 3 points. And 19 plus 25, that's what, 44 out of 44 game sample size. That's not a good cover rate at all. So I think that's probably why some money's come in on Charlotte in this one. I wasn't looking at props or anything in this one, so I'm gonna just keep it moving so I can get through what I got for you guys. And then if you got anything, you can request up. Let's keep going. So Kings and the Heat, the next game I wanted to talk about. Similar situation right here. You get a Heat team that's coming off the second night of a back-to-back. We know they exerted a lot of energy last night, beating that Golden State team and trying to get off the snide because they had lost 2 games in a row. Golden State had also lost 2 games in a row, and the Heat were just coming back home. So now the spread actually opened at 7 in favor of the Miami Heat, and we see. Let's see what we see. We see the spread come down to 6.5. So it's all 6.5. The totals come down from 226.5 down to 221. We know that De'Aaron Fox isn't going to be available in this one. Tyler Hero was on the injury report, but now he's not. And Trey Lyles was also questionable in this one. So you get the Kings coming in this game on the second game of their East Coast road trip. They play in Orlando on Saturday, so I don't think it's a real look-ahead spot at all. This will be the second game of back-to-back, like I said, for the Heat. They come into this game on the second night of their back-to-back. As far as trends, another one, very similar to the last one. So since last season, home favorites with the line greater than 7 and less than 10 on the second night of a back-to-back are just 5, 17, and 1. That's a 23% cover rate in this spot. the away dogs are only losing by average margin of 2 points. The only reason I didn't get there is because I don't know what this offense is going to look like without, a guy like De'Aaron Fox, who, I talked about it earlier this week when I took his player prop, the game that he got hurt against Charlotte. He dominates the ball. His usage rate is the 14th highest in the league, and of course first on the team. So Davion Mitchell, I like his props a lot. You could look at a guy like Sabonis. You could also look at a guy like Kevin Huerter. Miami leg should be just a tad bit tired, based on how many minutes they played last night. But I do think that Miami could come in here and clean these boys up too, especially with Tyler Hero being back after I think he got poked in the eye yesterday. One last thing I wanted to throw out in this game: Miami was just 5-9 against the spread last year on back-to-backs. They were 1-4 on back-to-backs when they had no rest. I'm sorry, with no rest as a home favorite. So no rest and a home favorite. They went only 1-4. They only covered 1 out of 5 spreads in that spot. They won those games by average of 1 point. So all the trends say take, Sacramento in this spot, but I don't think I'm ready to do that yet. So I didn't put that one in, but hope that helps you guys in your handicap for the game. Real quick, I got 35 comments on the YouTube chat. Let me go through and see what y'all talking about in here, man. Hit that like button one time for the one time. Appreciate that, Bessie. I made both shows in a day. What's up, Jeff? Appreciate you being here. What up, Scotty? What y'all on? What up, Tiffany? Euphoria said Cavs money line, his favorite play. I like the Cavs, man. I'm not fading the Cavs. I say that. Favorites went 3-1 yesterday. Decent day. Nets killed the parlay. Yeah, the Nets weren't supposed to win yesterday. That was the third game in 4 nights. I always talk about fading teams on third games in 4 nights. I do not play them ever. Jeff said odd that Embiid is listed out with the non-COVID related illness, not the foot, surprisingly. Yeah, that's what's up. That's a fact. What's good, Chris? Let's get some money tonight. Yeah, for sure. Garland has a potential of coming back tonight, too. Yeah, Garland is in. Jonas over 10.5 rebounds. AD is questionable, Jackson. We'll get to that game. Love the spot for the Cavs. Yeah, I like that too. Tiffany says she's riding with her Knicks today. Let's go there. Let's get to that game. I'm trying to get through all the comments real quick. Lakers are 27th in defensive rebound, is what Myron said. Free Minds. What up, Free Minds? Appreciate you being here, my guy. What else I got? Nicola rebounds again. Got to roll with Maxey. Yeah, I'm on Maxey. I talked about that already. I done broke down 3 games if you joined late, but I am on Maxey today. That's the only play I like in the first 3 games that I capped so far. Fremont said he on Bucks first quarter. I'm actually looking at Bucks first quarter too, Fremont, with you. Wanted to get the news on Jrue Holiday first, but I saw it at -3.5 at a -120, I think. And I like them to smack them boys up. I got some trends that I ran that support that as well. Jackson said definitely on the Lakers Pels under. Yeah, I talked about that on the morning show. I don't expect the Lakers to be able to score 114 points. Their team total is sitting at 113.5. Pelicans defense is too good for that. If they can stop that Clippers offense, which Clippers offense is bad too, but I think, overall the Lakers had the worst offense in the league. I just don't see them scoring that many points tonight. Of course, you want to wait on the news and see if Herb Jones is in because he's probably their best defender. So, just wanted to catch up in the YouTube comment section. Appreciate you guys for being here. Hit the like button for me. Also, if you guys are listening to the show, the morning show that I'm doing, 7 a.m., Cashed It with Chris, is available on podcast as well. So you guys don't have to, go through and watch the whole YouTube video. You can listen to the podcast. Just wanted to throw that out there real quick. So let's keep going. So next game up, the one Tiffany wanted to talk about, the Hawks and the Knicks, right? It's crazy because the line actually opened at 1.5 yesterday. If when I was capping the game in the middle of the day, you get of course, it's not 1.5 anymore. The Knicks are it opened at 2.5. Now it's down to 2. I see some 2.5s as well. And I think this is the one that, people are a tad bit confused on. The total opened at 228.5. It's all the way up to 233. So some money's come in on the over for sure. And if y'all got opinions on the Knicks and the Hawks game in the chat, man, let me know. What y'all thinking about the Hawks and the Knicks? Talk Sports with JT said Atlanta, New York, first quarter over 60. The only reason I disagree with you on that, JT, is because apparently the Hawks had a players-only meeting after taking that 30-point loss in Toronto the other day. typically when teams have player meetings, they want to focus on the defensive end, especially if you gave up 139 points. They lost that game 139 to 109. So I don't know. Like, we saw this with Ben Simmons the other day. Ben Simmons talked about, the Brooklyn Nets having a players only meeting after they lost that first game to the Pacers. And they actually came out and slowed down the Pacers offense without him even being a part. You think about the Nets and you think about overs because they play no defense, but then you subtract Ben Simmons and you're like, oh, it's definitely gonna go over. So I think it's something to after these meetings, these players only meetings where teams can kind of get things out and players can clear their chest. I think it brings the team together. So I wouldn't be looking towards the over. I actually think it goes under 60 points, but I could be wrong. We know Tibbs wants to get out and really push the pace. So the Knicks, man, it's I don't know, man. I don't know about that one. DJ said he likes DeJounte Murray tonight. A kid named Coop said he's on Jalen Brunson double-double. OTG said he's on the Knicks first quarter. It's gonna be an interesting game. So let me tell you guys what I got for this one. And you might throw the trends, you might throw all the trends out the window just because for one, it's the Knicks, and for one, it's the Hawks. They hate each other. We know that the Knicks have kicked the Hawks the Hawks have kicked the Knicks out of the playoffs. We know the history with Trae Young being in the Garden, which is where the game is today. But I got some stuff for y'all. So let me get into this one. So for Atlanta, this is their 5th straight road game. They're coming off the 30-point loss, like I talked about, in Toronto, back-to-back losses to the Bucks and to Toronto. For the Knicks, this will be their first game back home after taking 2 losses of their own. They lost straight up and against the spread against the Bucks and the Cavaliers, and they play in Philly on Friday. So I don't think it's a real look-ahead spot at all, right? Cam Reddish was the only name that popped up on the injury report with the illness. Not sure if he's going to play or not, but I do think that, he was the one that was let go by Atlanta. So he might have something to say, about this game and really might want to get in and, prove himself. I just feel like there's this animosity between the two teams. So I'm definitely going to be locked in and watching this one. So here's a trend that I have for you guys. So since the start of the 2020 season, so over the last 2 years, the Knicks, they're 13-2 straight up and 12-3 ATS. That's a 90% cover rate as a home favorite with more rest than their opponent. 13-2 straight up, 12-3 against the spread as a home favorite with more rest than their opponent. Last season specifically, they went 7-2 straight up and 7-2 ATS in this spot, winning those games by average of 8 points. We know that the spread is only 2.5, 3 right now. So I know that you got the players only meeting and the psychology of how do we bounce back by losing by 30 in Toronto a few days ago. But I just don't like the spot. I don't like the spot for the Hawks. I think that they'll get it together. And I also feel like I went through their roster earlier. Shout out to my boy Captain D, because we actually chopped it up about this one earlier. And you look at the Hawks roster, they don't have a lot of depth. They have DeJounte Murray. They have Trae Young, of course. They have DeAndre Hunter. They have Clint Capella. They don't really have too much other than that, though. Like a Kongu, yeah, but that bench, nobody on that bench scares me at all. They got both of the Holiday brothers. I think collectively they're combined like averaging like 11 points a game. The Knicks bench on the opposite hand, they're deep. You got Obi Toppin coming off the bench. You got Quickly. You got who else am I missing? I'm missing a lot of people. They just got what's his name from the Clippers, the big guy from the Clippers. They have so much more depth than I feel like Atlanta does, and Atlanta's not in a good spot at all. So looking at the trend on the opposite side, the Hawks, when they're away underdogs over the last 2 years, they're 15-36 straight up, and 19-31 against the spread, which is only a 38% cover rate as an away dog. They're losing those games by an average of 6 points. I think that's extremely important because we get a spread that's only 3. And I know you can't base everything off of, what's happened over the last year or 2 years because the makeup of the team is just a tad bit different. But until the Hawks get Bogdanovich back off their bench, I do think that they're going to continue to struggle. And we know that the Knicks they've been good this year. Also, another thing I looked at was the Hawks as away dogs with the rest disadvantage. I just told you guys they were 19-31 ATS as an away dog over the last 2 years. If you look at them as an away dog with the rest disadvantage, since 2020, so the last 2 years, they're actually 2-8 straight up and 2-8 ATS. 4 straight losses. If you go back to last season, they're losing those games by an average of 10 points. The Knicks have the better defense. They're ranked 15th. The Hawks have the worst defense. They're ranked 24th. Last thing, Hawks are just 5-6 ATS when they're on their 5th game of a road trip since the 2020 season. So the query I ran was the Hawks playing 4 straight road games, and then the next game is also a road game. And that 5th road game over the last 2 years, they're just 5-6. And they've lost 3 straight up, the last 3 straight up, and against the spread in this spot. So all of those things make me lean towards the Knicks, man. I haven't put the ticket in yet, but I'm like this close to playing the Knicks minus the 2.5. I think they win the game by 4 or 5. And I think they just caught, I think they catch the Hawks in a bad spot. Maybe the Hawks beat them in the next game, but I couldn't look towards the Hawks in this one, even after coming off the 30-point loss in Toronto the other day. So I like the Knicks, man. What y'all think about that? Reddish, yeah, Hartenstein. That's who I was thinking about. Hawks gave the Knickers hell. Yeah, they typically do. Knicks never lost back-to-back home games to the Hawks. Knicks first half for me. Maybe you jump on the first half of the first quarter. The Knicks have been turning up in the Garden, especially early. Maybe that's the way you look in this one. Euphoria said they always bounce back after losing to. They always bounce back after losing to the Hawks at home. OTG said he on the Knicks trifecta spot. Might have to be played. Okay. Knicks on it here in VA. Okay, Bob. Shout out to VA. Trust the numbers, Chris. Okay, D. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, bro. I'm getting on the Knicks, man. I'm getting on the Knicks. Markel, I see you jumped in on that Hornets money line. We talked about that game already, and I think I'm not playing the money line, but I could only look towards the Hornets in that spot. Malik said no motivation factor from Trae Young after Migos news. Yeah, I know. It's definitely like after the the murder of Takeoff. I do think that Trae Young gonna come out and do as much as he can. But if you've watched Atlanta play recently, like it hasn't Trae Young not doing anything wrong. He done had like 35 plus in like every single game. It's not him. He was in a shootout the other day with the Bucks. It's for me, it's the lack of depth for Atlanta, and then it's also Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. Like, what else do they have? I just feel like the Knicks have more pieces right now. And I also, like I said, a big part of handicapping is the spot that they're in. Don't like that the Knicks have lost 5 straight games. Can Atlanta win this game? Yeah, I think that they can. Am I taking them to win the game? Nah, I think I'm more. Well, I don't think I am. I'm going Knicks. I'm gonna make it official. -2, -2.5. Give me the Knicks -2.5 tonight. All right. So I know I was on that one for a little bit longer than I wanted to be. And let's see. Markel said, wait till he in Atlanta. Yeah, I think that might be it, right? They'll probably have some kind of tribute for him for sure. And he probably, I'm pretty sure he gonna turn up when they get back to Atlanta. Not to say that he won't turn up in Madison Square Garden. Everybody turns up and or at least tries to turn up in the Garden for sure. You want to play your best basketball in the Garden and in LA, right? Everybody gonna get a Lakers their best shot and get a Knicks their best shot every single night. It's the mecca of basketball. So I would definitely. I actually like Trae Young props tonight. I started the morning show off by saying that I'm heavy on Trae Young tonight. I just don't know if him and DeJounte are enough to win the game. I think the Knicks are overall the better team right now. So, like I said, give me the Knicks -2.5. And I am going to make that the second official play of the show. So we talked about, and that game actually starts. Make sure you guys, I don't know if you guys paid attention to that. Shout out to my boy Sai, because if he hadn't called me and told me, I wouldn't have known either. Early start time today, 6 o'clock Eastern, for the 76ers in the Washington Wizards in Philly. So if you guys want to put a play, you want to tell the Tyrese Maxey over 22.5 that I gave out earlier, or you want to, play anything in that game, make sure you get those bets in, because it's 5:46 Eastern time, which means that the game probably going to tip off in 25 minutes, and we'll probably still be on in that time. So make sure you get your plays in if you want to play anything in that game before it actually goes live. Let's see. Knicks -2. We going official with that. And then Maxey over his 22.5. I just need to make sure I write these down. Maxey over 22.5 points. I'll put that one in as well. So those are 2 official plays for me so far. And if y'all got official plays, man, y'all drop them in the chat. Let me get Embiid rebounds out of here because that's something I had written down in my notes. And I also had Kuzma rebounds over 6.5, but I'm not playing that because it got juiced. All right, so moving along. Let's keep going. So Raptors and the Spurs. I don't really know what to do with this game. To me, it reminds me a lot of Orlando, and I don't know why it does, but it reminds me of Orlando and the Thunder yesterday and OKC. Like I looked at that game yesterday and I was like, I don't want to touch this. Like I have no idea what to do with this. So I didn't play it at all yesterday. And I'm glad I didn't because it seemed like Orlando should have won the game, but then, the Thunder turn up on them at the end and, like 18-point turnaround, they lose the game by 9. I'm like, yeah, so same thing with the Spurs. I just can't figure the Spurs out. And I guess it's probably because if I'm being transparent and honest with you guys, I just haven't really watched them play too much. Have watched them play some, and I feel like, for one, they're going to be fundamentally sound just because it's a Greg Popovich-led team. But also teams just don't give their best effort against them. We've seen this team beat the Timberwolves, who are struggling in some regard, but we've seen them play up to the Suns yesterday, even though they lost the game. We see teams just play sleepy against the Spurs. I don't know if the Raptors do that tonight. I'm not 100% sure. So I'm probably going to stay off of this game. I didn't really have a lot on this one. For Toronto, it is the first game of their road trip. And it might be a one-off. I'm not 100% sure. There's a lot of moving parts in this one. Otto Porter Jr., who was not listed to play, he was upgraded to probable. Josh Richardson was not on the injury report, and he didn't play in the last game. Jeremy Sokum is in, and he was on the injury report for the last game. Keldon Johnson is questionable with a calf injury. Devin Vassell is ruled out, and Fred VanVleet was questionable. So y'all have fun with this one. I'm not touching this game, man. Y'all have fun with that one. I will say this. I'll give you guys the updated information. So Toronto opened at 8-point favorites. It's down to 7.5. Total opened at 225.5. It's down to 224. Toronto can go ahead and clean these boys up for sure. I don't know if they're motivated to do that. I don't know, especially coming off a 30-point win at the crib. It might be I could see it being a letdown spot. So nothing official for me at all. Quentin Grimes won't have a minute limit today, so he's back. And Cam Reddish got ruled in too. He's available to play. So revenge game Cam. I need all of it tonight. What else we got? PJ Tucker starting at the 5. Tobias Harris going to play the 4. Matisse Thybulle going to play the 3 in place of Joel Embiid. And DeAnthony Melton is listed as out. That's even more burn for Maxey because he's their best, bench player. So maybe we look at some Daniel House props because they'll need some bench scoring. And without DeAnthony Melton, I don't know where it's going to come from. As far as like playmaking, they got shooters with, Darius Garland likely to play in shorter stints. So I don't know how long he's gonna play either. It's like I said, I tweeted out earlier. It's a lot going on, man. It's a lot of moving parts in the NBA for sure. Let's see what y'all learned in the chat, and then we're gonna go into the next game. Is Fox playing tonight? Nah, Fox is out. He got ruled out yesterday. Early start because of the Phillies. Oh, that makes sense. The World Series. Yeah, the Phillies and the Astros play. I think the Astros gonna win tonight too. Philly fans don't go crazy on me. Christian Javier probably he might do his thing. Hold on, I missed the first breakdown. Did Embiid get ruled out? Yeah, he out, D. He out, bro. Embiid is out. Reddish and Grimes both active. Siakam under 24.5. Embiid and Melton ruled out, leaning towards Siakam points. Jeff said, I went official with the Pelicans, the Washington and Philly under. Mike Conley points and assists over 17.5. And Davion Mitchell points and assists over 20.5. I love the looks. Love the looks, Jeff. I don't know about the Washington Philly under, though. I think that might go over, but I love all your other looks for sure. And let's keep going. That's a lot of comments in the chat. I appreciate you guys for being. It's 106 people in the chat, man. Y'all hit that like button for me while I keep going. I need a tag team partner, bro. It's a lot going on over here trying to keep all the information flowing. Real quick, Don said, Chris, I have a question. Do you like the Pelicans? Our under 229 best pick for the game. Please help me out. I do like it. I like it. We're gonna get to that game, Don, but I like the under in the Lakers game. I talked about it earlier this morning. I think the Pelicans lock us up tonight. The Lakers play at the fastest pace in the league, but they average the least amount of points. I don't think it changes tonight, especially if Herb Jones get ruled in. The Pelicans are one of the better defensive teams in the league. And granted, they give up points, but they played a lot better offenses than ours. I kind of foresaw the Lakers winning the game against Denver the other day. I wasn't, of course, strong enough to put the play in. Like I wasn't going to back them, but Denver's one of the worst defensive teams in the league. And if you think that the Lakers offense is going to look like it did and Russell Westbrook going to play like he did last game, every single game moving forward, just because he got moved to the bench, nah, that's not happening. Not against teams that have a lot of length and a lot of athleticism. And then I also think we don't match up well. Also, if Anthony Davis doesn't play in that game, it's going to be even more difficult for us to score the ball. So I like that. I like the under 229.5 a lot. I haven't played a lot of totals though. I lost 2 totals the other day, and I felt extremely confident on them. One of them was on the Lakers. I lost that one by 2. And then I lost on the Philadelphia 76ers and the Washington Wizards and the Boston Celtics when the Washington Wizards just couldn't throw a rock in the ocean. So I said I'm off totals right now, just trying to wait until we get a little more information. Fremont said, what do you think about the Bucks first half? I love the Bucks first half. I like them first quarter too, Fremont. I like that play a lot. I'm gonna tell you on that under. Hey, I didn't say I was playing it, Marcus. I said I like it. I'm not touching totals right now. I'll fade the totals, bro. Like they'll hit and I'll be upset, but I'm not playing totals right now. I think we got to get more information on the take foul rule, and how it impacts the game, and also I want to wait until we get a little bigger bit of a sample size, like at least 10 games, maybe 15 games before I decide, whether I want to play a total or not. Also, you don't really want to play totals like late. Granted, they can be helpful to play late when you get more information, but you kind of want to look at the game and play totals early. Like you want to look at the game for tomorrow and be like, oh, that total's like I see 2 or 3 points of value one way or the other, whether it's too low or too high. You don't want to play totals like, 30, 45 minutes for the game. Now, granted, you can at times, but it's not something I'd be looking to do. All right, let's move on, man, because I feel like I'm talking too long and I definitely want to open it up to you guys. Clippers and Rockets. I don't really have a lot on this game. Of course, these two teams did just play. The Clippers were laying 9.5 points. The Rockets fought hard in that game. It was a second night of a back-to-back for both teams. The Rockets now come home. The Clippers are only favored opened at 5.5. I want to say, let me see where the line is right now real quick. So it's up to 6. And I think I agree with that. I know we haven't seen a lot to back the Clippers, but I like the Clippers today. I'm not playing it, but that's the way I would look. And the reason why, so for one, Jason Tate is still out. Robert Covington is still out as far as injury stuff go. But the Rockets, since the beginning of last season, as a home dog, with the line between 5 points and 8 points, they're only 4-10 straight, 4-10 ATS, and they're losing those games by average of 8 points. I know that the Clippers haven't looked good this season, but I do think with a short line of 5.5, it seems coverable to me, if coverable is a word. It seems like they can cover that line. I know the Clippers haven't covered a lot of spreads. I think they've only covered one, and that was against the Lakers in their first game of the season. I think they've lost every other spread. Maybe not. Maybe they've covered one or two other ones, but I know that the Clippers haven't been covering spreads, and the biggest reason is they've been playing defense. Their offense has just looked terrible. They got guys rotating in and out, like Kawhi's not playing. Then John Wall plays and he doesn't play. Morris was out for personal reasons for a little bit of time. I think he missed 1 or 2 games. Reggie Jackson looked like a shell of himself. Nicholas Batum isn't hitting. Guys like Luke Kennard aren't hitting. Trey Mann isn't contributing a lot. So I do think when you play against a defense like the Houston Rockets, eventually you're going to find your groove. You saw PG find it. PG had a horrible game the game before against the Pelicans. He bounced back and almost had a 35-point triple-double against this same team. So I think that today, he's not needed to do as much as he did in the last game. And I think some of the role players actually come to play today. That's the way I would look in this game, probably looking at some props for the Clippers. I do think that they win the game and they cover the spread. The Rockets, even though I was a little bit high on them early in the season, they look terrible. Like, they're still losing by double digits every single game. They're playing hard. They just, for one, they don't have a center. Sengun is more of a power forward to me. And they're one of the worst rebounding teams in the league. And all it takes is for a guy like Jalen Green, who, shout out to Vaughn. I know Vaughn sent me the tweet earlier. He's shooting the worst. I think he's shooting 7% from mid range, which is the worst in the NBA by far. 7%. You might as well go play for the Lakers. You're gonna shoot 7%. But that's all I got on that game. Pistons and the Bucks. This is the game I was talking about. I'm actually looking to back the Bucks again in this spot. The other day I came on here. I gave out the Bucks first quarter, first half, full game after talking it out with a couple of some really sharp cappers that I respect. And I end up playing the trifecta spot, first quarter spread, full game spread, and first half spread. First quarter cashed at 4.5. Second quarter was a push at -8. And then the full game was a -13. The Bucks just let their foot off the gas and actually only won the game by 2. I think they won 106 to 108. They hit a 3 late. Bogdanovich hit a 3 late to make that game a little bit closer. So Jalen Durham is already ruled out in this one. And Drew Holiday popped up on the injury report a little late, which let's see where the spread goes to because of that. So it opened at 11 in favor of Milwaukee. It pushed up to 11.5. I don't know what happened throughout the day. The total opened at 224. It's down to 222.5. I see some 223s. Let's see. So Drew Holiday popping up on the injury report was not something that I was extremely excited about because I wanted to get behind what Freeman's was saying in the chat. Yeah, Freeman's. I think the Clippers smack too. I think they smack them up tonight for sure. Joe Chris said I like the Rockets. I like the Rockets in this spot. No bet. Okay. Yeah, we on the opposite side. But like I said, I'm not playing it either. What I wanted to share, I wanted to see if we had any updated news because I do feel like this is a game that's a throwaway game for the Bucks. Like they don't need Drew Holiday to win this game, even though Detroit is feisty, bro. They're not gonna lay down. You're gonna have to beat them because they come in with something every single time down the floor. Cade Cunningham is coming into his own. He was giving Drew Holiday to work the other day, especially in the second half. And we saw who did we see? We saw Isaiah Stewart, Jaden Ivey. Those guys are not backing down from challenges, man. They're looking for it. They embrace the challenge. They embrace being the underdog. But if Drew Holiday gets ruled in, I do think that the Bucks cover this first quarter spread. I'm not looking to play them for a game, even though it could be a Smack City spot and they could beat them in, they could win all three, the first quarter, first half, and full game. I'm looking at the Pistons first quarter, first half, though. And one of the things that I ran was, and I don't have it up because it was actually on my other laptop. So let's see. I want to run a query for you guys real quick. So I was looking at the Bucks, right? When they are at home as a favorite, and the line for them to win is greater than 10, because like I said, this one opened at 11. So last year, and this year included as well, they're 12-3 straight up, but they're only 7-8 ATS, right? So they're not always covering these big numbers. But what they are doing is they're jumping on these teams early, right? So the first quarter, they're winning 32.4 to 24.8. This is a 15-game sample size dating back from last year to this year. With the Bucks in the first quarter, they're winning the first quarter 32.5 points, and their opponent is scoring 24 points. So that's an 8-point gap. And that's something that I think the spread was 3.5. So I like that number. To me, it seems like enough data to be able to support that spot. Also, if you do the opposite, right? So if you look at the Pistons as away dogs and you get a line that's bigger than 10, since last year, they're 3-23 straight up. They cover in this spot. They're 16-10. That's a 61%, 61.5% cover rate, but they're losing the first quarter. 30.2 is what they're giving up to their opponent, and they're scoring 25 points. If you've been paying attention to this Piston team, they've been coming out pretty slow this year, right? So I'll just tell you guys what they have been doing so far this year. Pistons in month equals 10. So they're losing the first quarter this year. 31.6 is what they're giving up in the first quarter. And they're scoring 26.2. That's another 5-point gap. Over a 5.4 gap is what I'm seeing. So I like the Bucks first quarter in this spot. Also, this will be the Bucks' last home game. I think they played 5 straight home games or 6 straight home games. I really, really like the Bucks to come out here and punch the Pistons in the mouth early. I do kind of want to wait on the Jrue Holiday news because I'm not a big believer in the Bucks bench right now. I think when Chris Middleton comes back, of course, that shifts people, back into their natural position. Also, they're still without Pat Connaughton, who's a big part off the bench as well. So I do want Jrue Holiday to be in for me to take this 3.5 in the first quarter, but I just kind of want to get in and get out. I don't want to trust the Bucks to have to cover this big number. I already gave you guys the trends; they typically don't. So I like the Bucks early in this one. I got Bucks written down. Bucks first quarter minus 3.5 written down on my short list. I see what you're talking about, bro. Oh, I thought you was talking to me. Okay. So yeah, I got that written down on my short list. Bucks first quarter minus 3.5 is one way that I'm gonna be looking in this one for sure. Like I said, just kind of waiting on that. Oh wow, Jimmy Butler just got ruled out. Wow. Did somebody put that in the chat? Yeah. Appreciate you, Edward. Butler got ruled out. Wow. Tyler Hero is gonna play. Darius Garland. Wow. Okay. Dang, that changes everything. That changes everything in that Heat game. I'm glad I didn't have a play. I talked about back in the Kings. I like it even more now. All right, let's move along because I'm talking too much and I want to be done so I can hear from you guys as well. Moving along, like I said, Pistons Bucks. I like the first quarter minus 3.5. If Jrue Holiday comes back and it's still at 3.5, even if it gets a little more juice, I think I'm willing to play it. It's some kind of illness that's non-COVID related. Jazz and the Mavs. I really like the Mavs in this spot too. So you get a Jazz team that's coming in into this game. They're 5-2 straight up, I think, or 4-2 straight up. I think 5-2, 6-2. They're 5-3 ATS, 2 straight home wins they're coming off of against Memphis. This is the start of a 3-game road trip for the Jazz. They play out in LA. They play the Lakers and the Clippers. They got them 2 teams on deck. You get a Dallas team that's coming off the win against Orlando and a loss to OKC. This will be their 3rd straight home game, which I'm not really into fading teams on their 3rd straight home game. And they got 2 more on deck versus Toronto and Brooklyn. So the schedule makers were nice to them early in the season. Christian Wood had popped up on the injury report with an illness, but he got upgraded from questionable, I think, to probable. So I think he's in for today. And then, just historically, if you look at the Mavs, they own the Jazz. Dating back to the playoffs last year, to the regular season, they won in the playoffs. What was it, 4-1? I think it was. And Dallas, they got them. They just get them out. They just get them up out the way. The Mavs, they really own the Jazz. The Jazz have been playing well. I'm not really into wanting to fade them, but for me, this kind of feels like a Maverick spot. It feels like a Luka spot. And I do think that the Dallas Mavericks match up with the Jazz probably a little bit better than a lot of other teams do. So I'll be with a short number like 5.5, I think is what it opened at. I'm sorry, opened at 6. And I want to say, I know if money came in on either side, I'm pretty sure it came in on, let's see. So right now the spread is Utah minus 6.5. So I'm sorry, Dallas minus 6.5. The total hasn't really moved. It's down to 221.5. So I don't know. I like 6 is just a weird number. I don't like that number because you need a team to win by 3 possessions. Maybe I'll get there. It's one of the later games. It's the 840 game. So I didn't really look at player props at all. Luka points feel like they're sitting at like 1,000. So haven't really played, looked at that. But I like Dallas in this spot. I might get there. Haven't played it yet, but I do like Dallas in this spot. Moving along, Grizzlies and the Blazers. So yesterday I actually saw this one open up at 2. And then, of course, it looks like it reopened at 3.5. Now it's all the way up to 5. Money's come in on the Memphis Grizzlies and money's come in on the under. So it opened at 228.5. It's down to 226. Josh Hart is listed as questionable in this game. I don't think we got any update on him. And then Lavaria, I think is how you pronounce his name. Jack Lavaria. I think I'm pronouncing that right. He's questionable with an illness. Desmond Bane was listed as questionable, and Steven, who didn't play in the last game, but I think Desmond Bane probably does play in this one. According to the money, it looks like he's going to play. And then Steven Adams was also listed as questionable with a jaw injury. Memphis got to get off the snide. They've lost 2 games in a row. You get a Portland team that doesn't have Damian Lillard. I feel like this is beyond a winnable game. You have to win this game. You need a win. You don't want to fall too far behind. And they haven't looked great. If you just been paying attention to Memphis, they've been giving up a lot of points. And they you can tell that they're missing guys like Jared Jackson Jr., maybe even DeAnthony Milton. And then Zaire Williams is also not in there, right? They're only 4-3 straight up. They're 2-5 ATS. And on the road, they're only 1-4 ATS. So they haven't been covering road games. We know that Portland is hot. They lost to Miami when Dame went out. So they've been off for quite a while, because I think that game feels like it was forever ago. I feel like Miami done played like 3 games since then. But Portland's 5-1. That's the only loss of the season. They're 5-1 ATS as well. And they're 3-1 at home, straight up and ATS. So I don't know. I think you wait to see what happens with Josh Hart. I like Josh Hart in this game. Maybe his PRA line. I think he'll be the guy that kind of steps up and try to fill some of that void for Damian Lillard. But no official play for me at all. I don't like that I would get the worst of the number. But I think Memphis, this should be a smack city spot for Memphis. I'll probably be looking at taking them early too. Memphis typically comes out and plays pretty well early in the game. And I can see Portland trying to, kind of figure their offense out and see what that's going to be like, not having a guy like Damian Lillard, right? Maybe they have to kind of figure that out. The offense, of course, will run through Simons, Jeremy Grant. But Memphis should be able to, like I said, Memphis should be able to win this one. And, coming off 2 straight losses, both to the Utah Jazz, pretty sure they probably got that one circled on their calendar as well. Let's see, Memphis, they don't play again until Friday. They'll be back home to host Charlotte, and then they got a nice little 3-game homestand against Charlotte and Washington and Boston. So yeah, I like Portland to take an L tonight, man. I think they lose, and honestly, I think it's probably still some value on the number too. I just haven't played it yet, so just sharing notes, man. I'm trying to hurry up and be done. I feel like I've been talking forever. Last game up. I am official on this. The New Orleans Pelicans. I'm fading my Lakers tonight, man. So you get in this game, you get a Pelicans team that's been in LA because they beat the Clippers on Sunday, smacked the Clippers up, beat them by about 20-something on Sunday. The line in this one opened. It's crazy because yesterday I saw it open at 2 when I first started capping it. It went to 3.5. Now I see it back down to 3. We got some news about Herb Jones being listed as probable. Then we got news about Herb Jones listed as questionable. Brandon Ingram did not take this road trip out west, and this will be the Pelicans' last road game before they return home. Anthony Davis is listed as questionable. Braun is listed as probable. Juan Toscano-Anderson has also missed the last few games. He's listed as questionable as well. Yeah, I just feel like it's a short number. I feel like it's a short number. I think the Pelicans come in and stifle the Lakers. And I talked about this earlier in the season already. I'm going to be looking to back my Lakers. I watch all the Lakers games, like start to finish, all the time. Joe said he feels like the line is a little fishy. The reason why I think the line's a little fishy is because, or why people think the line's a little fishy is because the Lakers are typically the favorite in this game. The Pelicans own us, though. We've lost the last 3 games to the Pelicans straight up, and this team is a lot better than those teams that we've lost to before, right? We didn't lose to the team with Zion, and of course they don't have Brandon Ingram, but CJ McCollum is more than willing to lead that offense, and you got backup guy like Jose Alvarado, right? I just don't think that the Lakers have – the Pelicans are also one of the better offensive teams in the league, right? Like, I don't know if you guys paying attention to it, but they've been scoring the ball. And I think because when you take into consideration, if you guys been watching the Lakers, Anthony Davis holds his back about 4 times per game. Every time he does it, I hold my breath. He holds his back, I hold my breath. Because it's scary. If he goes out the game, who do we bring in as a backup center? And Wendell Gabriel, I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to get any kind of production from Wendell Gabriel. Looking at this game, the Pelicans actually have the number 1 ranked offense. They're shooting the second highest percentage. They're shooting the second highest percentage from 3. They're the 15th best rebounding team. And then the Lakers defense is good. They're rated top 8 in every statistical category, but the Pelicans defense is also really good. They're ranked 13th overall, 13th in field goal percentage. They're the second best 3-point shooting defense. And we know that the Lakers are the worst 3-point shooting defense. Field goal percentage wise, the Lakers are shooting 29%. 29th overall, only shooting 43%. And their offense is ranked second to last, only averaging 105 points. I like the Pelicans in this spot, man. I hate to come on here and fade my own team, but I like making money more than I hate fading my own team. So that's something that I'm gonna be playing today. I did take the Pelicans officially. I took it this morning, and I talked about it on the morning show. SoCal DJ, my guy, said the Lakers are 1-13 ATS in this spot. Frank said I fade this Laker game. Yeah, maybe you stay off of it if you don't want to be on the public side, because the public side is going to be the Lakers. The Pelicans. All the money is on the Pelicans for sure. So SoCal just gave me a query that I'm gonna run real quick. Lakers in home and previous margin is greater than or equal to 10, and dating back to 2021. What is that? 2/28, so February 28th. Team equals Lakers, and home and previous margin is greater than or equal to 10, and date equals 2021. Oh, 2020. I put that in wrong. 2020 of 12/28. Okay, so December 28th. 2020, 12/28. ATS wise, they are, I got a lot. ATS wise, they are 98 and 123, only covering 43% of the time in this spot. So at home, when they played a previous home game, so 2 home games in a row with a margin that's greater than 10 since December 28th, 2020. Not a good spot for the Lakers at all. They don't cover in this spot. Okay. And a lot of losses in a row. Oh my God. The Grizzlies, the Timberwolves, the Rockets, the Knicks, the Jazz, the Magic, the Hawks. This is a crazy trend. Appreciate you, SoCal. That's a crazy, crazy trend. Okay. Jeff said Lakers are 10-26 off plus 10-point wins. Oh, wow. I didn't even see that. And it did look like we were celebrating the Super Bowl after we won the game the other day and they got their first win. So yeah, man, I'm a diehard Laker fan. But I can't. I like money more than I like backing the Lakers or staying off the game. So I'm fading the Lakers in this spot. Akbar, my guy, said he holds his breath. I hold my breath. He holds his back. I hold my breath. Yeah, okay. Lakers first half money line. Hey, best of luck. Best of luck if you play that. The Lakers have actually been one of the worst teams in the first quarter all year. So if you play that, best of luck to you. I will say let me run one more thing real quick, and then if y'all got plays, y'all hop up. Send me a request. I'll try to get as many people up as possible. We got about another 15 to 20 minutes. Let's see who anybody want to come up. Send me let me know what you're on. Send me a request and I'll get to you guys for sure. Team equals Lakers. Degenerates. What's going on, my brothers? How y'all doing, man?
Yo, what's up, Chris? How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm sitting back listening to you run through all the games, and I'm laughing at the end there just because whatever it is, I'm not betting on this Lakers team. I need a month or two more before I can get at. And I know you're against them tonight. It's just because it's funny because the public just loves to bet on the Lakers because it's LeBron and the Lakers, and you said it perfectly. Sometimes if you want money, you got to be patient or take the other side. You know.
Yes, sir. That's the way it goes, DJ. And real quick, DJ, before you finish, somebody said, "Oh, I think that's Court. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't want to butcher your name, but you said Lakers first half money line. What I'll tell you about that, I think the Lakers have the worst offense in the first quarter. They're only averaging 23.7 points per game. They're losing the first quarter by an average of 6 points. And if you're a diehard Laker fan, then you know that we're typically losing at the end of the first quarter. The second unit comes in and we're winning by 4 points, and then we kind of keep the game. Then the third quarter comes in and we take a step back as well, especially when Bron goes to the bench. And then we trying to save the game at the end. But I just wanted to mention that how the game typically flows for the Lakers, because that's been something that's been consistent throughout the season so far, DJ. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah, no, thank you for that, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I had no clue about that trend. Personally, I normally don't even tune into NBA games till like the second quarter. And so unless I got a bet on it, so that's good to know. But the spot that we're going with tonight, there's a couple I liked. I'll just dive into one of them. Obviously, there's a few I like with the slate tonight, but you touched on that not the Jazz game, that Trailblazers Grizzlies game, and just a stat I wanted to give all the people real quick. I definitely like your reasoning for Grizzlies in this one tonight, but Anthony Simmons, man, I love betting him, especially when Dame's out. If you look at his numbers last year, without Dame, he was a different player. He averaged almost 24 points a game the last third of the season, and this is one that I'm playing him straight up tonight, but it's not my main player prop tonight, guys. But just because Dame's out, don't be afraid to look at that game and look at Anthony Simmons. He's a name that a lot of people don't know, and because of that, I feel like guys are afraid to dig into his spots. But the one that we like tonight, this is my favorite play personally. We're going with Kelly Oubre Jr. tonight, over 17.5 points. And this is just a spot where I look at, the Bulls are coming off a back-to-back. They just played last night, struggled a little bit against the Nets. And yeah, Kelly Oubre's having a great start to the season. He's averaging 16.4 points a game, shooting a little less than 41%. And I like his usage on the Hornets so far this year. Right, his usage is a 25% usage clip. He's playing nearly 30 minutes a game. He's getting a lot of action. He's getting touches. And in his last 5 games, he's averaging 17 shots per game. And I think that's plenty tonight. If he gets his shots off, if he gets his attempts up, he's going to make them. This is a Bulls defense that allows the 4th most points and the most threes made to small forwards so far this year. And their interior defense hasn't been good either. And like I said, they're on the second night of the back-to-back. And I think that's going to wear on them as the game goes on. You see Oubre struggling early on. Don't get upset. Don't get flustered. It's NBA. There's a whole other half. We see how quickly these guys can score, and they can score in bunches. So I think Oubre is going to be able to attack the Bulls however he wants tonight. And let me know if you guys are tailing tonight. And thanks for having me, Chris. And I'm looking forward to what everyone else has to say tonight.
Absolutely, DJ. I appreciate you being here, bro. I love the look on Kelly Oubre. I was high on him last year. I cashed on him earlier this year as well. I'm glad I only played him one time. I allowed him to 30 points because he actually played really well last year in those games without Terry Rozier and LaMelo Ball. And I do think it's time for him to be due for a big game. So I could see it tonight, like you said, second night of a back-to-back for the Bulls. I think Akbar just broke some news about Zach LaVine being in tonight. So he's playing on the second night of a back-to-back. This will be his first game of the season playing on the second night of a back-to-back. So that's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out. Kobe White is ruled out. Drummond is also ruled out. And then we got starting lineups for starting lineups are what? Oh, hold on. Oh, wow. Okay. So LeVert is staying in. Garland, Mitchell, LeVert, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen are going to start. I thought that they would maybe put Isaac Okoro in the starting spot, but they're electing not to, which is also interesting. But appreciate the look, DJ. I hope you cash it, bro. Let me kick it to LJ, and then Jeff, I'm gonna come to you.
What's up, Chris? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you good, bro? What's going on? How you doing?
Oh, I'm good, man. Good. I'm just waiting to go into this Rocket game versus the Clippers, bro. I'm sitting out here in the parking lot right now. I just wanted to tap in with you before I went up in here.
Okay, what's up? What you got? You got something for the game?
Oh, yeah. I'm on my Rockets tonight, man. They should have won that game the other day against the Clippers. It took a heroic, shot for Paul George to win that game. So I think they're going to have that on the blade. They left a bad taste in their mouth. So I'm on first half and full game.
Okay.
The Rockets have covered both first halves at home. Granted, it's only been 2 home games. They've covered both home. They've won outright every first half. So I'm going to put my money on them tonight. I think they'll bounce back. Jalen Green has been struggling on the road. He's only averaging 14 points in his last 4 games on the road. But at home, he's lights out, man. He averages 29 points. So I'm on his over 22.5, minus 124. I lock that in. And also, I'm on Cleveland, man. I think the wrong team was favored early, and I see the numbers now made Boston a favorite. So I'm all on Cleveland, man. I'm on the money line. They top 10 in points scored and points allowed. And I'm on Jared Allen, over 10.5 rebounds, because they won't put the double up no more because they know that Boston has given up 5 double-doubles to every center that they played, considering how small they are inside. So they don't want to give us that money no more in that double-double. So I'm just going to take the rebounds for Jared Allen, over 10.5, minus 110. I'm going to that Toronto and Spurs game. I'm going to take Anunoby over two plus assists, plus 120 because he's averaging 2. He had 6 steals the last game, and the last 3 meetings versus the Spurs, he didn't have 2+ steals. So I think that's a good look right there. I'm gonna check out what else I got over here. Atlanta, New York. I'll take Trae Young, 29.5, minus 114, and I'll parlayed it with John Collins over 8.5 rebounds, plus 102, because he's had 10+ rebounds 5 out of 7 games. He's a rebounding machine. So I think he'll get that. And Trae Young has averaged 30 points versus the Knicks the last 6 games. I do think the Knicks will stay in the game. They possibly will win that game, but I think Trae Young will act up because, he like playing in Madison Square Garden. So I'm all over his points, and I parlayed it with John Collins, 8.5 rebounds, plus 102.
Hey, LJ, I always love the analysis, bro. I know you came in here and gave out some bangers yesterday. So best of luck to you, my brother. I hope you cash them and enjoy the game tonight, man.
Already, man. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, bro. Appreciate you as well. Jeff, let me kick it to you, and I'm gonna get a few more guys up here. What's up, Jeff? What's going on?
Chris, I'll keep it quick. I was just gonna throw a couple trends and angles I liked. Actually, on that Washington Philly game, I know it already went off, but something to look ahead on those totals. Philly last 2 years, 31-19 to the under at home. They're 0-3 this year. They're 3-9-2 over under since the start of 2020, playing at home with a total under 228 after they had a game on the road that went over. But the league-wide trend that is the most beneficial, I guess, is March 1st, 2021. 2 teams that have played twice in the last 3 days without playing another game in between. The home favorite, when the last game went over the total by 10 or more points, 10-29 over under. So they're going under in 75% of the games when teams play these back-to-back games in like 3 days, especially when they go over the total by more than 10 points, which Washington and Philly did in their last meeting a couple days ago. So just a couple reasons I like those angles and a couple things to look at moving forward, even though I know that game already tipped off.
Okay. No, I like the looks, Jeff. I like the looks a lot. I think the only thing that sticks out to me just a tad bit is that the Wizards play, the 76ers play at such a faster pace. And I don't have the numbers in front of me without Embiid, though. Like him not having to get down the floor. He's doing a lot of flailing. And, I think he's not in the best condition with the plantar fasciitis. So, but yeah, I like the looks, though, Jeff. I like the looks a lot.
See what it changes. They're 30th in the league in tempo on the season. That obviously includes Embiid, but they sit last in the league in tempo, not taking that Embiid factor into account.
Right. Now, for sure. We know that they play really, really slow.
Washington's 23rd, so they're not much faster.
Yeah, Washington looks like they're trying to win the game like 17-16. It seems like every time I watch the Washington plays so slow. I actually hate watching the Wizards play. I love the players, but I just hate the way that they play. So appreciate the looks, Jeff, and all the statistical data that you got to back it. And best of luck on your action today. I know we chopped it up early and you got some plays in, so best of luck on those. Absolutely, bro. Appreciate you being here. I'm gonna try to get some other people up real quick as well. They call me Check B. What's going on, bro? How you doing?
Nothing much, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you good?
Yeah, man. Thanks for the platform again. Just want to touch on 2 things real quick. One being Trae Young. Definitely agree with some of what you said here earlier today. As a parlay piece, I'm gonna play Trae to go 25, score 25 along with 8 assists. That's at a minus 119. In his last 4 games playing at the Garden, he's dropped 32-9 in those 4 matchups. Overall for the season, he's covered 8 assists in 5 out of 7, 25 in 5 out of 7. But in terms of covering both of those props, he's only covered that 3 out of 7 times, the 25 and 8. Another parlay piece, same game parlay piece for that game. It's going to give you plus 112. You can do Trae for 20 and 8, along with Julius Randle to get 8 boards. I like that a lot tonight as well.
Second thing I want to talk about real quickly is Nurkic tonight. I was considering playing his point and rebounding total today. It was at 26.5 at minus 115. Partially because not really sure if Steven Adams is going to play tonight, as well as Josh Hart. Portland ranks 6th in the NBA in defensive rebounds, and that's partially because of Josh Hart. He's averaging 9 a game, and Nurkic this season is averaging 13 and 12. And he just came off a game in Houston where he dropped 27 and 15. So far in the season, he's 3 out of 6 in getting a double-double. His double-double stands so far tonight at minus 158. Or if you like his rebounding, his line is at 10.5. The over for that is minus 130. For him to get 12 is at a plus 104.
Okay. Hey, I like the looks, bro. Sound like you did your homework too. Best of luck to you.
For sure.
Absolutely. Who is
Chris, the Knicks are back. The Knicks are back, like Amari Stoudemire said.
Talk to us. Tell us about him, Anthony. You want him tonight?
I don't know. I just feel like everyone and their mom is on Trey over, and I just feel like fading everyone and their mom is just going under. but that's just strictly just to kind of go contrarian. You know what I mean? The Knicks are playing a lot faster this year, which unfortunately would play towards his over. Credit Tibbs for changing his style up a bit. He slowed the pace. He always wanted to slow the pace to get a point guard, Brunson, and finally we're picking it up. So I just want to fade what everybody's doing just because, everyone goes left, let's go right every once in a while. But wanted to get your opinion on the Knicks game, and then also under on Cade Cunningham. I think it's 21.5, and then under in the Bucks game as well.
All right, so hold on. So say it one more time. Which one's first?
Well, yeah. So Cade under 21.5. And then the under in the Bucks game as well, 224, I believe it is.
So under 21.5 for K seems difficult for me to pull the trigger on, just because he's I don't know how many times he's shooting the ball, but I watched that game the other day. This dude is extremely confident, and I just feel like the Bucks, they could play defense for sure. We still got to wait on Drew Holiday to figure out if he's in, but he got it. I mean, he got his numbers the other day against Drew Holiday. They're also running a lot of pick and roll. They're just not turning the ball over. Like I wouldn't. Long story short, I wouldn't play K under. I would not play K under. Not me. I know you could say it's recency bias, but I think K is on a mission this year. This dude looks like he's ready to go. So I wouldn't play that one. What was the next one, Andy?
The under in that game, 224 as a whole, and then just what do you think happens in Knicks Hawks tonight?
Yeah, I do like the under. I like the under in that spot. But that's a motivational game, right? Anytime you see these big spreads of double digits, does the team that's favorited, are they going to lock up on the defensive end, or are they willing to give up some points? The Pistons played them extremely well last game and actually held the Bucks under their team total, but they got to their team total because I think they was at 104.5, 105.5, and I think they finished with 106. So that's a hard game to cap, Andy. I'm like I said, I'm not really looking at totals right now. I want to get some more data on the totals before I feel like I want to keep pulling the trigger, because I done lost my last 2 total plays, even though I liked them both. I talked about that earlier on the show, so not really looking at playing the total. If I had a lean though, it would be towards the under. Because I think that the Bucks, while they can score, the reason why I wouldn't play the total as well is because Drew Holiday isn't in. He's a big part of their offense, and I talked about it. I don't really like the Bucks bench as much when they don't have Drew Holiday, and Chris Middleton isn't there, so guys aren't in their natural position. So I would probably look towards even more of an under if Drew Holiday wasn't there, because he's the head of the snake when it comes to that offense. Him and Giannis, of course.
Just for what, in terms of a guy or a guy that doesn't ever take his foot off the gas, that's a Giannis in terms of covering a spread. But obviously, that's not just talking out loud in terms of a guy who plays his ass off. And then real quick, if you got a minute, just basketball conversation. Knicks, baby. Knicks Hawks? What do you think? Talk to me about tonight.
Yeah, I think I gotta go with the Knicks, man. I know you probably jumped in late, but I feel like I talked about that game for a minute. Yeah, I feel like I talked about that game for a minute. I'm official on the Knicks minus the 2.5. I feel like it's a bad spot. First of all, for Atlanta, they're playing their 5th straight road game. I know that they had the whole coaches, the whole team, players only meeting or whatever. I just don't like the spot. The Knicks also have the better defense. They're at home, and I gave out this stat earlier. Anthony was not only do you want to fade Atlanta at home, on the road as a dog. Atlanta on the road as a dog, they are only, what I got is they're 15-36 straight up, 19-31 ATS as an away dog, losing those games by average of 6 points dating back to last year. But then if you factor in that the Hawks are away dogs with the rest disadvantage over the last 2 years, they're only 2-8 straight up and ATS. So 4 straight losses. And the other thing that really got me on this game was, because I'm not big on backing the Knicks, yet. I feel like I still need to kind of see it. But they're the deeper team. For me, they're the deeper team, and it's a good spot for the Knicks too. It's a real good spot. So the other trend that I ran, Anthony, was the last 2 years that when the Knicks are a home favorite and they're the more rested team, they're actually 13-2 straight up, 12-3 ATS. Last season they were 7-2 straight up and ATS in this spot as well. And they were winning those games by average of 8 points. So I know that the teams aren't, necessarily the same, but the Knicks roster has been together for quite a while now. And some of those young guys like Quickly and Obi Toppin and some of those guys, they've built some cohesiveness. So I like that. I like the Cam Reddish revenge angle as well against Atlanta, who gave up on them. So yeah, I'm on the Knicks -2.5 tonight.
Let's get it. I was just gonna say, Quentin Grimes is gonna play tonight. He's been in a walking boot since he killed it in summer league.
I saw that.
I'm curious to see what happens to the rotation. Does Cam Reddish get some minutes reduced? I hope it's Evan Fournier between you and me. He can't play defense if it's not dependent on it. Unfortunately, he's in the right spot. He's just not athletic enough. But really excited. Thanks for your time. Always appreciate your work. Have a great day.
Absolutely, bro. Best of luck to you as well, and I appreciate you requesting up, man. Wallow, I want to come to you real quick, and then we're gonna get to my guy Vaughn and Bookie Bully. I see you requested. I'm gonna get you up as well. What's up, Wallow? How you doing, bro?
Yo, appreciate it, Chris. Just got one play for you. Jonas Valanciunas over 10.5 rebounds. Centers have been dominating on the glass for the Lakers this year. Jokic 14, Rudy Gobert 21, Jokic 13 again, Nurkic 13, Zubac 14. Just been dominating on the boards. Of course, the Lakers missing all those shots. I think Jonas Valanciunas over 10.5 rebounds. A great play tonight.
I love that look, bro. As soon as you said it, it just kind of clicked to me. It's like I almost knew what you was gonna say afterwards because I've been watching the Lakers games so much. I like Valanciunas as well, man. The Lakers will have a big out there at all times too, so it shouldn't create too much of a mismatch for him. We've seen him get played off the court against Utah and some of these teams that run, a one guard with just like more of a power forward lineup with where he can't guard anybody, and they try to get him in pick and roll action and take advantage of him. I don't think that the Lakers have that though. We typically have a big on the floor, whether it's Damian Jones or it's Wendell Gabriel or of course Anthony Davis. So I like that look, man. I like that look a lot. Valanciunas rebounds over 10.5. Appreciate you sharing that.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Absolutely, bro. Best of luck tonight. Vaughn, what's going on, bro? Kick it to you. What's up?
Hey, what's good, bro? You hear me good?
Yeah, you good.
All right, man. I just pulled over, so I got a few looks, man. So coming off an undefeated board, we got a couple plays that we really, really like. My favorite player tonight, well, one of my favorites is Trae Young. I got it at 27.5. We know the little rivalry he has with the Knicks. We got Trae averaging 29 on the season. We got the Knicks giving up 23 to the point guard position. And then also, I think I heard you talking about it earlier with the Hawks right now don't have a lot of depth. Trae Young minutes, he's been playing more minutes so far this season than he has in any other season before. I don't remember what they traded to get DeJounte Murray, but it seems like they traded their entire bench. Outside of their starting five, like you said, they got the Holiday brothers coming off the bench, but that's not anything that's inspiring at all, man. So we went with Trae points. I really, really, really like that one. Also, we are on over for Boston and Cleveland. at 220.5. So I don't typically play full game overs. This is only a 1-unit play. It was a 2-unit play until Darius Garland got ruled in. So the reason we like this, of course, we got the first game going at 255. We got Boston first in effective field goal percentage. Cleveland is third. Boston is third in three-point percentage. Cleveland is first. Cleveland is also shooting 42.7% from the three-point line. And again, they first in offensive rating. The last game they played, that was one of the top-paced games so far in the NBA. Looking at Boston so far this season, they're 23rd in points allowed, and it don't seem like defense is so much of a priority for them, which is so different from last year with Udoka and how they switched everything. So I really, really like that over for the 220.5. Another one we like tonight is the Pelicans -3. So we got the Pelicans 3-0 in the last 3 matchups, and they've been winning by 13. So I don't know why this line is at 3, a little fishy for me, but I stayed with it. We got the Pelicans are 5th in net offense. The Lakers are 25th. We got the Pelicans are 7th in effective field goal percentage. We got the Lakers at 30th. So we got a couple trends lending in our direction. We also took the Valanciunas rebounds for obvious reasons. And a lean we have right now is the Rockets and Clippers under. So these teams are 28th and 30th in offensive rating, 24th and 29th in effective field goal percentage. And just both of these teams have been shooting the ball poorly all season. So we like the under in that game. So those are like our officials right now. One thing I've been working on is a fade list. So far, almost every night we are looking at the center against the center or power forward against the Thunder, the Lakers, the Celtics, the Rockets, the 76ers, and the Nets. So I'm looking to attack those teams with any decent size rebounder. Again, that's the Thunder, the Lakers, Celtics, Rockets, 76ers, and the Nets. We also looking to attack stretch big versus the 76ers when Embiid is playing. Point guards versus the Lakers. And shooting guards and point guard. Anybody who shoots threes versus the Heat. They're allowing the first amount of threes to the point guard, the second amount of threes to the shooting guard position. So just a couple of teams that, because we say it a lot, that's a look I wanted to get to, but I'm just compiling a short list of a few teams that we just always looking to attack, a few positions that have been successful. If I'm not mistaken, I counted it up. We got like an 88% hit rate going against that fade list so far.
Okay. Hey, I like that you keeping the numbers too, Vaughn. I like it, bro. I like it a lot, man. Best of luck on your action today. You sound like you on a lot of the things that I'm on. We're on the same side. Hopefully, we both cash, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, get with me on them Valanciunas rebounds, bro. Get there.
Yeah, I probably will. I'll see how the night's shaking out. That'll be the last game of the night. So I'll see how the night looking, man. I don't want to go too crazy. Coming off a nice little 3-0 day. I don't want to, put too many plays out. It's easy to, not to kind of, skip over some of the steps that you should be doing before putting all your plays in when you got such a big slate and so much to consume. Even if it's games that I don't necessarily have a play on, I'm still breaking them down, in depth, and it's time consuming. So some of the times I don't feel like I do all that and then don't even make a play on it. But yeah, I'm with you on that, Devon. I'll probably get there on Valanciunas rebounds for sure. Appreciate you, Vaughn, and best of luck tonight, my brother. Bookie Bully, I want to kick it to you.
Love what you doing, bro.
Appreciate you, Vaughn. What's up, Bookie Bully? How you doing, bro?
What up? Like you said, a lot to love on this big slate. Sometimes it can feel like you're missing out on a lot of plays, and you also don't want to play everything, though. Don't want a big losing night, so it can be kind of tough to find a healthy medium on what to play and what not to play. Tonight I'm only on 2 plays, actually, even with the big slate. Something I really, really like tonight is Reggie Bullock under 2.5 3-pointers made. This season he's gone under 5 out of 6 games, going under in 5 straight, actually. On the season, he's only averaging 2 on only 4.8 attempts, and he's scoring a whopping 83.7% of his points this season from the 3-point line. And today, against Utah, who's allowing the second least 3-pointers made and the 5th lowest 3-point percentage, I think it's going to be very tough to get that number. And, Utah is playing at a fast pace, but the Mavs do play at the second slowest pace. We know Luka likes to control the tempo, so I don't think that'll play a huge factor. This is minus 160 on points bet, up to minus 200 on DK, so I really, really like this even more. I'm parlaying it, though, with Dallas plus 5.5 just to bring the juice down a little bit, bring it up to plus 105. I like that tonight. And then another play similar. I like Vaughn just touched on shooters against Atlanta. Kevin Huerter, over 2.5 3-pointers made. He's scoring 60% of his points this season from three. And Miami's allowing the second most 3-pointers made to shooting guards this season. And just 2 games ago, with De'Aaron Fox playing, he went 7 for 8 from three, scoring 27 points. And today without Fox, I think just even more opportunity, more usage for him available. And I think that's a easy number for him to get.
Okay. I like the look, Bookie. Sound like you did your homework, bro. Sounds like you did your homework. Best of luck to you for sure. Xavier Picks, I think is how you pronounce that. I want to come to you. I think it's your first time up, man. Play tonight?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I've been listening to you since last season. I just want to say I appreciate the spaces. I got 2 plays today. The first one is Luka under 3.5 turnovers. It's minus 105 on DraftKings. Reason I like this one is because Dallas actually has the least amount of turnovers in the regular season right now, and it's even better at home. So the line's gone under 4 out of the 6 times to start the season, and it's gone under in all 3 home games.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, the synergy between all the new teammates that he got this year is pretty on par. It seems like they've been playing forever. Very, very few mistakes by Luka to start the season so far. Next one I got, this one's a little juiced now, but it's actually Anthony Simons over 2.5 turnovers at minus 155 on DraftKings. And so with no Dame in the lineup, the usage rate for Ant goes up significantly. He actually leads the usage percentage when Dame's out of the lineup. He's gone 7 of 10 with no Dame, and the 3 that we were missed were on the hook. Portland's also playing a faster tempo this season, so they're in the middle of the pack this season, but last year they were close to dead last. So that just means more possessions for Ant.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so those are the 2 I got.
Okay, I appreciate you sharing them. Sound like you did your homework too. So best of luck to you, man, and appreciate you sharing those.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Chris.
Absolutely, man. So somebody asked on Twitter, on the YouTube comments, what I was official on. So I'll give you guys my officials. I don't think I have any more requests, so we about to wrap this up. We actually been on for a little bit longer. But I'm official on. I talked about it already. Tyrese Maxey. I've talked about his points already. Looked like he's off to a pretty good start. He has 8 points in the first quarter. That game's already started. Washington is actually winning. Bradley Beal has 2 points, and Kuzma has 5 points. Porzingis has 11 points. Kuzma has 0 rebounds, so I'm glad I stayed away there. Monte Morris has 4 assists already, and James Harden has 5 points and 3 turnovers. So not the start that Philly was looking for, but it makes sense. Philly always plays worse at home, whether they got him beat or not. But officials for me. So besides the Maxey play, I'm official on the Knicks minus 2.5. I'm official on the Pelicans minus 3. And I'm waiting on the news for Drew Holiday on the first quarter for the Bucks. Also, really want to get behind the Mavs. I haven't played that yet, and I don't like taking the worst of the number. And then somebody in the chat told me they was on their way to the casino and asked me if I could look up some Dallas Mavericks stuff. If I was liking the Mavs first half, minus the 2.5 for the Jazz. So I just ran some SDQL real quick. You look at the Mavs so far this season, they're actually scoring 60 points in the first half. We know Luka typically plays the whole first quarter. He gets a short break in the second quarter, and then plays most of the second quarter as well. They're winning the first half 60-52. So take with that information and do what you want. But it sounds like it could be it's not as easy, as just looking at that and saying you're going to take them first half. But that's a pretty big gap for first half. And you look at their opponents, they played the Suns, the Grizzlies, the Pelicans, the Nets, the Thunder, and the Magic. So, 4 of those 6 teams have playoff aspirations, deep playoff aspirations at that, and they've done well in the first half. The third quarter In the fourth quarter, not so much. They're only scoring 52 points combined in the second half. But like I said, first quarter overall, they're scoring 60 points. So I'm going to try to get on some of these teams early because we don't know how things are going to shake out in the second half all the time. Real strong lean towards Cleveland to beat Boston, but not really wanting to fade Boston. Just love Cleveland. I think Darius Garland coming back just might throw things off just a tad bit, which is why I talked about earlier wanting to lean towards Boston maybe early. But Cleveland will figure it out, and I think that they probably will win the game. So just a lean for me there. And I didn't really get a chance to cap too many player props. If I find something that I like before the game start, I'll tweet it out. But one more time, official for me. Like I said, I'm on Maxi, which started already over 22.5. The Pelicans minus the 3, the Knicks minus the 2.5. Those were my few officials. Couldn't talk anybody off the Bucks first quarter. Like I said, I was kind of waiting for Drew Holiday news, but as I put up top, he's like a real game time decision. I don't like their offense as much without him being the primary ball handler because I don't like the secondary ball handlers. And then there's some news that broke in the Raptors game as well. Fred VanVleet was ruled out 14 minutes ago, and Otto Porter Jr., who got upgraded to questionable, is going to play today. He's available to play. So their offense will look a tad bit different. And that's all I got, man. That's all I got. Big slate today. Don't want to force a lot, but it's a few things that I like for sure. So best of luck on your plays. I know a lot of people don't even like sides and spreads and that type of thing. So I hope your player props go well. Couldn't talk anybody off Trae Young. Like him a lot tonight. Like the Valanciunas rebound look a lot tonight as well. Like Jared Allen rebounds look a lot tonight as well, but I'm not playing any of those. Just trying to be disciplined, man. So that's what I got for you guys. Best of luck to everyone that came through and shared a play or just placing a bet in general. I'm gonna start finishing the show with this, man. So none of this is financial consultation. It's theory, statistics, logic, and analytics. Use your best judgment when placing your bets and bet with your head, not over it. Best of luck on all your action tonight, man. I'm out.